Since being the first ever pick out of G League Ignite, Jalen Green has been one of the more polarizing young talents in the NBA. On one hand, the combination of his elite physical gifts and dynamic offensive arsenal at times solidified his standing as a former high pick. On the other, the inefficiencies from the interior and perimeter through his first 3 seasons in the league showed him to be more of an inefficient scorer with a ceiling more of a 6-man type of player. However, in the most dire moments of the season, when the Rockets are chasing a play-in spot, Jalen Green is looking like an absolute stud, having the best stretch of basketball of his career and leading the Rockets to improbable success. In this video, we'll look into what's led to Jalen Green's ascension as of late in this season, detailing the struggles he had earlier in his career to the improvement he's shown in 2024. But before we begin, be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. Out of high school, Jalen Green was nothing short of a sensation on and off the court. As a talent, he was an explosive 6'4", 6'5" combo guard with athleticism that would make him difficult to tame on the court. He was a fluid and natural scorer who had an insane first step and elite burst to blow by defenders and get into the paint at will, fearlessness and tenacity to detonate against anyone at the rim, a good handle and shot creation ability, and the ability to hit pull-up jumpers. Because of his scoring package and elite athleticism, Green was one of the best players in the nation, averaging 33 points, 8 rebounds and 5 assists as a junior, and 32 points, 8 rebounds and 5 assists as a senior, leading prolific prep to a 31-3 record and a Grand Session World Championship, and setting prolific prep's single season scoring record with 1,008 points. The thing is, because of his flashy between the legs dunks and 360 dunks and replay worthy blocks, Jalen Green would get millions of views of his highlights across social media. In a normal sense, the next step for Green would be to commit to a powerhouse program and ideally become a one-and-done prospect. However, Green opted to join the NBA's newly launched G League Ignite, a program that was set to be an alternative to college basketball while providing an awesome opportunity to the players. In hindsight, we all know that G League Ignite ultimately failed, which is the subject of another video, but in a pre-NIL world, the prospect of being paid to play while having high-level facilities at your disposal seemed like a tantalizing prospect. On top of all this, Ignite players will be playing against competition in the G League comparable if not better than college competition, with the league being littered with former NBA players and players who were older and more physically developed than 18 to 21 or 22-year-old players. So, in 2021, surrounded by Jonathan Kuminga, Isaiah Todd, and Jarrett Jack, Green had a good season, shooting 46% from the field and 36% from 3, and projecting to be a 3-level scorer entering the league. With his athleticism, ability to take defenders off the dribble, the capability of finishing through traffic, and shot creation ability, Green drew comparisons to both Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal, with the hope that he could develop into a great outside shooter due to how great he was as a free throw shooter. But after being drafted in the 2021 draft, inefficiency and other aspects of his game remained points of contention despite him being 22 years of age as of 2024. On a positive note, Green was second in scoring among the 2021 class as a rookie at 17 points a game and made all-rookie first team. He did have mid-season struggles, had poor shooting stretches, missed 15 games due to injury, wasn't all that efficient as it took him 14 shots to get his 17 points, and he ultimately tried to find his way to function better in the half court. But post-All-Star break, it was evident that Green became more confident and caught up with the speed of the NBA game. He was the first Rockets rookie to score 41 or more points in a game since Hakeem Olajuwon had a stretch where he scored 30+ points in 6 of 7 games, and overall averaged 22 points on 48% from the field and 39% from 3 in 24 games. Green demonstrated his ability to get to the rim and have acrobatic finishes, his shot-making ability off the dribble, effectiveness in transition, and even showed promise defensively to the point where many were optimistic heading into year 2. All he had to do was gradually improve his decision-making and in-between game, and he looked more and more like the Rockets' #1 option moving forward. But his 42.6% from the field and 34.3% from 3 in his rookie season are still the best marks for a season in his career. Green went on to average 22 points per game in year 2, and his free throw attempts notably jumped from 3.5 to 6 a game. But he shot just 42% from the field and 33.8% from 3, with an overall true shooting percentage of just 53.8, shot worse at the rim at just 53.5%, shot just 33.9% on 195 pull-up jumpers, and only made 39.9% of his 203 mid-range attempts. Because these percentages were virtually the same through February of this season, people began tapering their expectations on his ceiling, chalking him down to being a great athlete whose sole utility comes down to getting a basket for his team, and liking him to the Jordan Clarksons and Malik Monks of the world. However, with not being incentivized to lose and needing to win badly to stay in playing contention, Jalen Green has suddenly played the best basketball of his career. During the month of March, Jalen Green is averaging 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists on 51 42-80 splits with a true shooting percentage of 63.9, and the Rockets are 10-1 in those games despite Alperen Şengün unfortunately going down. Through this stretch, he's finishing at 72% at the rim, nailing down 44% of his mid-range jumpers, hitting everything from 3, shooting 50% on corner threes and 41% on above the break threes, and recently won Player of the Week. He's playing with some of the most confidence I've seen from him in his career, but just as importantly, he's been remarkably consistent with his improved fluidity and mechanics on his jumper. He's always been someone who's thrived in transition since his AAU days, but he's putting it together by being effective in other ways. He's attempting 9 threes a game in March, but 4 of those threes have been catch and shoot attempts, with him shooting 43% on those attempts, and many of those attempts coming from teammates swinging it to him in transition. And with Green becoming more and more of a respectable off-ball threat, and even on the ball hitting threes off the dribble, the game will certainly become easier for him since he hasn't struggled getting into the lane, as he's always has his athleticism and handle to get by defenders. The poise Green has shown also deserves applause because he's taking advantage of what the defenses are giving him rather than trying to force the issue, being effective as a pick and roll ball handler and torching mismatches and making the extra pass when needed. Finally, Green has shown flashes of being a tough shot maker in the past, but his shot creation ability, notably his ability to gain adequate separation far away, is something else. Jalen Green is a very special player with a dynamic scoring package that made people liken him to both Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal in the past, which speaks highly of how people rated him as a prospect. The talent was never in doubt, but the consistency has been, with him having a history of having slow starts this season and picking it up after All-Star break. He just has to consistently put it together for even longer stretches of time, especially with the Rockets only being 1.5 games behind the Dubs in the standings and holding on to playoff life. With that being said, let me know your thoughts on Jalen Green's incredible play as of late. How impressed have you been with his performances in March? And how has that changed your perception of his overall ceiling in the long term? Let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video, as each like makes a tremendous difference for the channel, and be sure to sub to the channel for even more content like this. Hope to see you all in the next one, and stay